Let's start with Oban. He loves a cultural orgasm as much as anyone. Tick that off your bingo card, please.
It's a very powerful song, very convincing singer. The vocals, the beat, the melody, everything is Albanian. I am a huge fan of this song, and it's a very good song in my opinion.
Well, yeah, who doesn't like a gold sparkly dress? I mean, normally I would have a gold sparkly dress on if I had more than 2 minutes warning.
I listen to it every day. It's a really good song, and I love the ethnicity about it.
When I first listened to this song, I thought it was awful, to be honest. But it's, but it has really grown on me.
I think it's an excellent song, and she's an excellent performer, but it won't qualify. So that's that.
Well, I don't really think this will qualify.
She is an absolute rocket. That's what she is. I was watching this the other day, and my boy comes in and he says, Dad, is that what a MILF is? What are you supposed to say to that, eh? Welcome everybody to ESC Fan TV. It's that time again. Happy bloody Frickmas to you all. It's the month of December, which can mean only one thing. We've just had Junior Eurovision, and it's now the return of the Albanian Eurovision selection. That's right, Thick 60 takes place next week. It's so exciting. We get to hear our third Eurovision entrant of 2022, and we're not even there yet. Before we get into all that, let's say hello to the panel. First of all, good evening, Tom.
Hey, Stu. Merry Thick.
Good to see you. Merry Thick.
I wish it could be thickness every day, as they say.
Yeah, well, it certainly feels like it. It feels like this Eurovision season has just not finished. You know, it feels like we've just continued from 2021. Big hello to Andy. Good to see you back on the show.
Hello, lovely to be back.
And he's going to provide you tonight with the musical expertise on all songs. So we can't wait to come to him throughout.
That's news to me.
Didn't know that was coming. Huge hello to our king and queen of Eurovision. It is Phil and Michelle.
Hi, happy Frickmas.
Yeah, that.
Good to see you both. Good evening to Tristan.
Hello, everyone. Merry Thickmas.
Good to see you, Tristan. All the way from Belgium, we say hello this evening to Alina.
Hello, and I'm sorry, but I did not get the clothing memo. So yeah.
You brought the Christmas tree, Alina. It's all good. It's all good. And from Belgium, we go all the way north to Norway. We say hello to Amalia.
Good.
Good to see you, Amalia. So, if you're new to ESC Fan TV, be a little bit of background. Tonight, all of our panelists are going to give you their fan perspective. Just remember, we're Eurovision fans. We're going to give you our thoughts on the upcoming Thick 60 show. That's right, 20 songs in this year's competition for Albania. One will be selected to be their Eurovision 2022 representative. That's it, really, in a nutshell. We're going to get into it. We're going to play you four groups of 5 songs, and then our panel are going to tell you what they think about it. Before we start, though, just to say hello to everybody in the chat room. Tom will be joining you in the chat room this evening. Give us a lot of love. There's already 250 or so of you about, so please click the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and head over to our social media channels after tonight's show. Give us a follow on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. I think we're also on TikTok and many other places as well. Right, we're going to start tonight's show off with the first 5 songs. Let's take a listen. So there you have your first 5 songs, one of which was a returning artists, actually. 6 times they participated in FIC. Let's start there with Endri and Stefi with The Triumph of Life. You'll forgive me for not attempting to try and translate some of these songs, or at least try to pronounce them in their native Albanian, because I'm liable to murder them. So we'll start there with Endri and Stefi, symphonic rock, the only duo in this group of 5 songs. Let's go to Phil and Michelle first on this. But what on earth's going on there with your jumpers, guys?
Well, it's just an homage.
Yeah. We thought if Andy's wearing this t-shirt, we wear ours.
Go on, Phil, you go first.
I thought this was a little bit of a plodder. There did seem to be a lot of sort of middle-aged blokes in this selection of songs, but this wasn't too bad. Well, yeah.
Does it give you hope?
Well, there's that. But yeah, it did kick in a bit later. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't really my favourite out of them.
I thought it was bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
Built. It was brilliant. I loved it.
Thank you very much, Michelle. We've got 5 very diverse songs here. We've got opera. Denis Skura with opera. I mean, opera did all right in 2015 with Italy, didn't it, of course? We've got Alban Ramosaj, which we'll come to in a minute because, hey, ladies and gents, he's the favourite for many reasons. We had Eldis making the debut, and Ester Zahiri also making her debut. So we've got some really good songs here. Let's go to Tristan. Tristan, pick out your favourites from this group of 5. You're on mute.
I'm so sorry about that. I just had to go on mute and I forgot to unmute it. My favourite, well, I mean, I've got 2 favourites in this section. My favourite song would probably be. Let me just. Oh, sorry, I'm having some technical problems here. Of that group, my favourite song has to be Ester Zahiri, Hijena. And I really like that. And I think it's, I mean, we all know that Albania do fantastic revamps. I think this is one that possibly doesn't even need one. It's already really good. It's got a super winner potential. It's my second favourite of all of 20. My first favourite is probably going to be quite a lot of people's favourites. We'll be coming to that later on in the show. The only thing that counts against her is that she's probably the least known person of all 20, Ester Zahiri. That might count against her, I don't know. But I think, and also we don't know how this is going to sound with the orchestra, because I assume that the orchestra's back this year. It wasn't there last year.
It is back, yeah.
It is back. This may sound a bit odd with the orchestra, because it's a very sort of like a studio track. But I love it. It's got a fairly sort of chill out sound to it, yet it's at a good pace. I really like it. And the other one I really liked was the first one, Alban Ramosaj. The only problem I think with it is that we know he sings quite well when he sings higher, because I don't know if I'm sure a lot of you have seen the interview he gave with William from Wee Wee Blogs. So it's Devon. And he sings really nice, good English, fairly high. He sang lots of Eurovision songs. In this one, he seems to be singing far too low for his range. So it almost sounds like he needs a throat lozenge. Now, obviously, that's something that a lot of people like to hear in a voice. But knowing how nice his voice is when he sings high, I think it's a shame that this is so low. But he's going to. I mean, so many people are going to love him because I mean he's already sort of like made lots of headlines with his naked posing and everything.
What, a bit like Kristen?
Yeah. I mean it's. I mean this.
Out there.
Yeah, this song could go huge. Could go huger than his biceps. The other one's quite nice. Is the opera song. It reminds me. I mean, we've had opera as you say. We've had Sognu, that Corsican song. That represented France in 2011 that everyone thought would win. But I think this is very much in the style of Il Divo. And the fact that this is very sad that Carlos Marin, the Spanish singer of Il Divo, he passed away from the pandemic today. That might make people pick up the phone. I don't know. They might, because it is such an Il Divo sound. In fact, it even sounds like a bit like Carlos Marin. I mean, Albania has never chosen something operatic before. But it could happen, and that song is really going to sound amazing with a live orchestra. So the only problem with it is it reminds me of another opera classic, and like one that Andrea Bocelli I think sings, and that is annoying me because I can't remember which one it is, and it is so similar to it. But as far as popera or whatever you want to call it goes, I think this is better than Sognu, and I think it's better than. I think I even say it's better than that Italian one they had a few years ago. The Three Chaps.
Thank you, Tristan. Talking of opera, though, let's go across to Belgium. So a little while ago, Belgium had an operatic entry.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't go too well, it's fair to say. Denis is singing about his mum.
Yes.
Axel from Belgium was also singing about his mum.
Yes.
What is your thoughts on this, Alina?
That they tried to do it better, but they can't do it better because we did it better. No, like I was thinking, like, am I the only one who's seeing the similarities? I don't know. I'm not drunk enough yet. Similarities for the two songs, like two blokes singing about their mother in an opera style. I mean, I can't be the only one who's thinking about that. So yeah, that's kind of it.
Thank you, Alina. Amalia, let's bring you in. Let's get to the point and to the crux a bit here. Alban Ramosaj, he's the favourite, or should we say fan favourite for a minute. And from the images that I just put up a second or two ago, we could probably gather why. He's pretty, let's be honest. It's an interesting song. It's ethno-pop. It's powerful. It has absolute impact. It's anthemic. He's a debutant at FIC. He's not done this before, although he has had 4 number ones in Albania in the last year or two. How do you see this going? Because when I reflect on FIC over the last few years for Albania, very rarely do the fan favourites ever win. Could Alban take this and represent Albania?
I think so. It depends on how he will do live. I mean, you sent me a clip earlier today where he sang it live, and it didn't go too well, which is sad, because if he had like the same emotions and like, this is a dramatic song, and if we can feel the same thing as at least I feel when I hear that song, I think he will do very well. And it would be nice to see an Albanian man represent Albania for once, because usually they do send women. So it's about time we see a man there again. And what a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man.
Yeah. Yeah. Michelle's not convinced, I can tell. Phil, Michelle, is this a potential winner for Albania?
Not for me, no. I thought it was a bit of a dirge, to be honest. I mean, he belts it out, but you know,
he's going to struggle live. And I've got a thing about hairy shoulders. I can't cope with it. If I wanted to see hairy shoulders, I'd take my top off.
No. It wasn't for me, that song.
God, I actually agree with you again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I didn't like it. It's dull. It's just dull. It goes nowhere. It's dull.
All right, so who would you pick out of those 5? Who was your favourite?
I think I like Ester out of those.
I put for Esther, but it's just a bit rubbish.
No, you liked Endri and Stefi, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I liked Endri and Stefi, yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. And coming to Tom. Tom, round this off. Who are your favourites from these 5 and why?
I'll be honest. My favourite is the favourite. Although I'm going to be honest, my favourites. That using the word favourite too much actually comes from the later groups that we've got today. In typical Tom style. I mean, quite frankly, if you are a long-time viewer to ESC Fan TV, you will realise by now I have a very unique taste in music. I inflict on people on a fairly regular basis.
You do, which means he absolutely adores Kastro, and that's coming next. This is Group 2. So that was your second group. We started with Evi Reci with Mirud, second participation. In fact, last year at FIC, she actually won the City of Tirana prize they give out for the best song outside the top 3, I think it is. So she's pretty well known and comes off that award. Gjergj was there last year as well. Janek's her 4th performance. Kastro, we heard there, his 3rd performance at FIC. And Kelsey, making the 5th song, is her debut. Andy, let's go to you. Let's bring you in. Again, 5 very diverse songs there. What are your favourites and why? You're on mute. Still on mute. Oh, it's going so well tonight, isn't it?
Well, if you didn't keep putting me on mute.
I never touched it. Go for it. We can edit that bit out after. Only kidding, we'll leave it in for fun. For shits and giggles. Andy, which of these 5 wonderful songs are your favourites and why?
Which of these 5 songs are my favourites? Kastro is my favourite of all of the songs. I absolutely love it. But it would need a spellbinding performance to capture people's attention because it's so left field. And left field songs don't generally do very well in Eurovision if they get to Eurovision because they're the sort of song you really need to sit and listen to. So I think it will all be down to the performance, but with a really good performance, I think that could do wonders. And then there's Kezia, and I like the verse. And then it comes to the chorus. And for me, the chorus was a letdown to the verse. Having said that, it's growing on me. So I've listened to it 3 times now, and the 3rd time was my favourite time of listening. So that might well turn out to be one of my favourites from the whole evening. Eva song sounds like Alamina Tanka. I don't know if Amalia would agree with that. And that in itself was, could I call it a pastiche? But it's very Greek sounding. Gjergj, I love the verse and I hated the chorus. There's quite a lot of these songs have got a really interesting verse, and when it gets to the chorus and you just want it to go like that, it goes phew, all turns into a different song, which is quite often what happens when you've got several songwriters involved in a song and they're actually literally pulling a chorus from here and a verse from there. So those are my views on the first.
Thank you, Andy.
Sorry.
Thank you, Andy. Just want to take you back to Kastro. Kastro is an interesting choice. You said your favourite. It's mean and moody, and what we've learned from Kastro over the last few years of Fick is he can perform, and he can perform the heck out of it. Does this sound a little bit like Georgia from 2019 to you, where it kind of came from nowhere? I remember people thinking Georgia, I think it was ranked one of the last songs in everybody's Eurovision tops. And it took to Eurovision and actually really stood out for how it was performed. Is this the type of song that could really go places for Albania with the right performance? Well,
the problem is I can't remember Georgia 2019. What was it?
That was nicely set up, wasn't it?
What was it?
Georgia, go on, Alina. Alina's desperately Googling it so she can find it and remind herself. Keep on going. The Georgia.
No, that was a load of shit.
Oh, okay, definitely my favourite.
I don't know. I think you have absolutely set me up there, so I haven't got that.
Well, let me finish it off. I give up. I really do. Amalia, let's come to you. Let's come to you. There's some really good entries in here. Let's talk about Evi Reci's song. Evi is the darling of Fick going into this year's competition, and her song, quite similar to last year, it's pure folk. It's about love. The song's "I Love You" translates as "I Love You." Really takes you back to a world when everything was kind of pure, way long before COVID. But anyway, is this the kind of song that could win Festivali, Këngës, and go on and give Albania a decent result in Eurovision?
I don't think so. Actually, I disagree a little bit because I think this is a weak group. It's not. I don't think any of the songs really appeal to me. Except the first one really makes me start to daydream about a vacation in Spain or Greece or wherever. But I don't feel like any of them are particularly strong enough to win Eurovision or win the national final. Sorry.
That's all right, Amalia. I'm working hard at this one. Let's go to Phil and Michelle. Phil and Michelle, you must love Kastro. This is right up your street.
I'm going to put my glasses on for this one. Right. I loved Kastro because it all started off. It was all a bit Portishead. How it started off and everything. Thought, oh, this could be a bit interesting. And then it was all a bit mean, a bit moody, and then he sort of got angrier and angrier as he went on, and it all ended up a bit Rammstein-y. And I thought, this is bloody brilliant. It's like, where's he been all my life? I just thought it was absolutely memorable. And if he goes on there and he starts off all curled up in a ball and he comes out and then he's all angry and mean and horrible, I thought this will win by a mile.
Yeah, I really want to see this live. I'd
pay money to see this live.
Yeah, I think this could be a really good live performance. Maybe slightly bonkers in a good way.
Yeah, I've no idea what he was on about, but I felt like I'd definitely gone on a journey.
Oh, yeah.
But not to Portishead.
He's singing about, the song translates as "Where Are You?"
He's
doing a bloody good job of trying to find whoever he's looking for.
Maybe
Alina, maybe you found them. Alina, any of these five for you, please?
Next.
Oh my goodness me! All right, let's go to Tristan to round this one off. No, you're not. I'm not coming to you, Tom. You've already told me you can't stand Kastro.
I'm songs in this group.
No, I've got two of my favourites in this group. My third favourite is Kastro. As Phil and Michelle said, it immediately starts off like Portishead, so sort of like Portishead chords, and then his voice comes in. It's really captivating. It's very moody, and it really affects your emotions. Where so many of the other songs, so many of the other male singers, just leave you quite cold. I think it's going to be amazing on stage, and I also can't wait to see it. I think if this was in San Remo, it'd be everyone's favourite. I think the fact that it's in Albanian, and we're not used to hearing this sort of thing in Albania, is it's not. And one that none of you really mentioned so far, my fourth favourite is Janix. We know she's going to sing it in English if she wins. She's already produced the English version. I think she's going to be bringing it out in the next day or so. It's really modern. It's really different. It's not really much of a tune, but I really like it, and it's so cool and it's nice to have something that is so different and funky. And when she goes very high falsetto, it's very like Prince as well. So it's sexy, funky stuff, and I love it. And she's written it herself as well, which is really great. And I quite liked Kelsey as well. Nice song, gives out really good vibes. And that's one that probably could do with a good revamp. But on the whole, in fact, I've got Kelsey as in my 10th place. So I've got 3 in my top 10 in this section.
Thank you, Tristan. It is interesting, actually, because there are some songs which look like they've been produced specifically for an orchestra, and there are others that may just not work with an orchestra. This is the beauty of FIC. You get, by the way, those who are new to FIC, you have 3 nights. You have the first night where they perform all the songs. You get to hear all 20. Then night 2, they do it a cappella. And then so you get to hear all 20 songs again. So even if you don't like any of them, you get to hear them twice. And then night 3, the best songs go through to the final, and they get to hear them again. And then they choose a winner. Tom, sounds like your favourites are in this group.
I'll
come to you next.
I mean, come on, we've got is it You Remain in My Dreams? That's really anthemic gold, that song. Absolutely brilliant. It builds, it's a real favourite. Almost Westlife-esque, although I'm gonna save the Westlife-esque metaphors so much for later on. Janix as well. Really diverse choice there, but that electro kind of vibe going on, dark, moody, really, really great contrast. And then we have the absolute cheesiness of the final song in the group, I Dance With You. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with the actual Albanian pronunciations of them. But again, really catchy, easy to listen to. Someone said in the chat that, the songs in this group were beige, but for me, I must just like a lot of beige songs, because these are absolutely brilliant to me. I would put them on my playlist any day of the week. And to be fair, I am sure even if I listened to it just maybe a couple more times, I could even love the gravelly voice of Castro.
It is good. And do you know what, Tom? I'm glad that I came to you last, because I was starting to lose the will to live with my panel this evening on Group 2. Shall we move on to Group 3? Because clearly none of you were loving Group 2 as much as Tom was. And Tristan.
Yeah, we like Group 2.
Oh, okay. Slap wrist. Group 3, here we come.
Se kur jam me tije e të vdes të si u harrojnë të rigat humbat e kaj gazët pe kuqino puthëve u bë a drejtësi unë jam dhe ti nuk e di si të vras nga dal i fshehur në skutat e baksis të kam në sole të baj manekim tu nuk hava
Interesting 5, actually. Let's start with Sajmir Çili. His daughter was Albania's representative at Junior Eurovision in 2019. And that song is interesting. Denmarska. We've got Neji, a group. Shega with the song Neji, which means one. urban band rock from Albania, as we're going to have in almost every national final this season long. And then some really cool pop songs from two debutants, especially Viola Zhemali with the song ESC, which translates as "Come as a Smell." No idea whether that's a literal translation, but hey, let's go over to let's start with Tom this time. Tom, Group 3, any favourites in there?
Do you know what? There are a couple there for me that do stand out. I have to say, first of all, the "Come as a Smell," given the fact my initial comment before I realised the translation was lift music, I just kind of think, do I smell popcorn in here? Anyway, but Injustice, the rock band, absolutely brilliant. I think that has the ability to stand out. It's the thing with urban band, and it's going to be the same thing for every single rock song that appears this year, is that there's going to be some allegations that basically they're following the crowd, obviously, after Maneskin's win last year. Is it sufficiently different? Yes. However, I think it has the ability to make an impact if it's performed right on the night. I'm not convinced, however, it would actually get through to the final of Thick. However, I will have fun listening to it. And I think that's all we can hope for sometimes. The other one I have a special place for is Ballad. I think Greece wants some of its music back, to be honest. I think it sounds quite similar to a couple of Greek entries from the 1990s. But again, a really nice, diverse bunch. Great to see that one in there as well. It's another one of my favourites, and I'm going to be looking forward to seeing that perform next week as well.
I'm really looking forward to see "Come as a Smell" performed. Not for the title, purely because I love saxophone in everything. So to have a jazz pop song, we had one in Estonia actually last week, didn't we? And now we have another jazz pop song. Shut up, Andy. Coming to you next.
He's been wearing that T-shirt since Phil and Michelle gave it to him. He has come as a smell.
That's also true.
Andy, let's go back to Group 3. Which would you say are the likely favourites? And I'm going to make a prediction now, and you tell me if you think I'm right or wrong. Probably wrong.
You're wrong.
Sajmir Çili, that song "Under the Mask," the first one we heard, then Mask, builds. It's a power rock ballad. There's a lot of rock in this group. There's a lot of rock in Thick this year. Builds, has real potential, I think. It's mysterious, and he knows how to perform. Can you see any of these 5 as potential representatives for Albania in 2022?
Well, you never know. I don't think Sajmir is going to win. I've got down old-fashioned but tuneful and a nice voice. So yeah, I enjoyed listening to it, but no, it's not going to win. And Shega, so the 3 boys, they start with a whistle, and there is a very high threshold for putting whistling in songs. You've got to be bloody good at it. And this is an attempt to copy Musica Leggerissima from San Remo last year, which went on to be a massive summer hit in Italy. And it's not quite as good. So, if you're gonna copy a song that's done really well, it needs to be a really good song. So I think that's going to fall short. Urban band, well, unlike Tom, I thought it was 3 minutes I'll never get back again. Just shouting nonsense. Now Viola. I'm just going to read what I put. Totally bland and forgettable. And then all of a sudden, a squawking trumpet wakes you up 20 seconds before you can go back to sleep for the last 20 seconds of the song.
But what are 20 seconds, Andy?
Oh, Christ, no. It was like that Greek entry in 1991 at Eurovision where
I love that as well.
Where the saxophone player hadn't learned the part. It's just as bad as that. And then Zuli, the final song in this section. And voila! We've got our first attempt to copy Barbara Pravi. That was how I thought. But it's got loads of really positive remarks on YouTube, and I think that is the song out of these five that will stand the best chance of winning. If she does a stunning performance and she doesn't copy Barbara Pravi, then I think she could win the whole thing. Just based on what we've heard. I don't know anything about the reputation of any of these singers, so I couldn't factor in how successful they are in the national market. But yeah, I think that's and it's written to be sung with an orchestra.
Yeah, I would agree with that actually, and that's the difference. I think there are some songs at FIC. There's a big difference between FIC and Eurovision. FIC is very much sort of the old San Remo type style, and the songs are played with an orchestra, and they have to be played a cappella the night
So
after.
when you said a cappella, what do you mean?
Well, they just
sing it with no accompaniment.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like just the voice.
Just the voice in some cases. Sometimes you get a guitar, maybe.
Oh, do you mean like an acoustic? They do an acoustic version.
Yes, that was probably the better word to use. Yeah, it wasn't a cappella at all. It's acoustic. Thank you, Andy.
No, it's all right because I just had visions of it all falling to pieces on night two.
Yeah,
as they all turn up one by one to try and sing it without any backing.
It's a good point, actually. No, you're right. It's acoustic, not a cappella. There are some that do a cappella, but mostly acoustic. Yeah, it's mostly man and a guitar, or woman and a guitar, or somebody in a guitar. Okay, thank you very much, Andy. Moving on to Alina. Alina, you were making a comment there about Sajmir Çili's Nen Mask. Do you think that's a potential contender?
Wait, what?
Okay, scrap that question altogether. Tell me your favourites in this group.
This I can pronounce the names. The first one, the third one, the fifth. Like, how do you pronounce those names, guys? Like, how? It's way too hard for me. But I want to make a comment on the second one. Then sure, I can't pronounce them. The nay, the one with the one. I was going to say it's a nay for me, but it's called one, so I would just say it's called one for me. So there goes my line.
It's the one for you.
No, not the one. It's got 1 point for me.
A 1 point. It's also called one.
Yeah, there goes my joke. I know I'm not funny today. Oh,
thanks, Alina.
Hard crowd.
You're telling me. Phil and Michelle, can you give me 30 seconds back, please?
Juliana, it was at that point that I started having chasers with my wine.
That was the one I thought that reminded me a little bit of the Portuguese fado when we went to Lisbon.
Oh, God, that was awful.
I didn't like that either. So
no.
Like
Viola, even Epic Sax guy couldn't save it. Urban Band sounded like a cover band in a pub.
Yeah, I thought I sort of wanted to like this, but I didn't. It just didn't really grab me. You know, normally I like rock songs, but not this one.
No. Shager, if you're shit at whistling, don't whistle.
Yeah, there's no Teddy Johnson, were they?
No, there's one for the youth.
Hey.
And what's that? Sajmir left.
Oh,
Builds to nothing, then goes nowhere.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I didn't like any of these songs, I'm afraid.
No.
Sajmir was just like a miserable song from another old bloke.
Apart from that, we loved them.
Yeah, we loved them. I can tell. We actually loved them. Okay, Tristan, wrap this up. Tell us about these five.
Oh, no, I won't say very much because I couldn't agree more with everything that Andy said. I've got exactly the same. They were all a bit boring. I hated the whistling and shaker. They're none of them's memorable. The rock one was just drab. But the only one that was okay was probably Trudy Ballad, which I really liked the guitar in the middle, that guitar instrumental. Problem is, that was my favourite bit because I just loved that guitar bit, and would have been maybe a bit nicer to have had a bit more of it. It's okay, sort of like chill with the guitar in the background, and it was all right. But I'm not sure whether I think Eurovision has moved on. I think that was a sort of like all these songs are quite old fashioned, and whereas there might be room for a really outstanding ballad like like Barbara Pravi from last year, that certainly was not at that level. And if Barbara Pravi didn't win, then this wouldn't even probably get into the final. But no, of all the four groups, this was my least favourite.
Thank you, Tristan. All right, so there you go. Group 2 and Group 3 wasn't really a favourite of my panel, was it? Let's... You like 2, yeah, I saw that, Michelle. Okay, Group 4, Final 5. So that was your final 5. We had Kelly with Meteor, Mirud back in thick. This is his third participation. Olimpia and Ronela Hajati making their debuts. And Ronela Hajati is the favourite to win with the song Secret. Let's go over to Tristan. Tristan, let's start with you. I think there's a potential contender in this group, at least. I mean, that's notwithstanding the favourite to win. I'm talking about some of the others. I think this is a really good group, and Mirud seems to have got it right this year, in my opinion. I think there was a few concerns with his performance last year, primarily because the song was good, it was a fan favourite, but he struggled with the choreography and it really brought the whole thing down. This is stripped back. It feels very authentic. It's very ethno-pop. I really like it, and I can see him standing there, not doing much except singing. And what a voice the guy's got! Could this be the year Mirud might surprise?
Yes, it could. It's my 9th favourite of the 20, but it's the one which I wrote down is I think the most likely to win or be a surprise winner. He has the best male voice out of all of them, and we know he can sing well. He dresses well as well, if I remember from last year. It certainly wouldn't be my favourite, but I just think he probably deserves it, especially he's entered a few times, and it's his best fixed song, I think, so far of all the ones he's brought. But what a great group! Great. I like all the songs, apart from Kelly. I didn't like Kelly. That's my bottom of the 20, but all the others are in my top 10. So Olimpia Smajlaj, Dua, I love that sort of ethnic swing beat sound. It's really unique. Lots of interesting drums, and there's lots of discordancy in the music as well. So like you got like this sort of off these chords in the background, these strings that are slightly discordant, and it's done on purpose. And then that rock guitar kicks in, so it's really different and exciting and edgy. Then Rezarta Smaja, love the accordion at the start. And even the traditional sort of sounds in there have been modernized. So you got like a modern jazz piano in the background, and a syncopated bass and this drum beat and the accordion, and it's all just like works really well. But then finally you have my favorite and the favorite of a lot of people, and I didn't actually know it was a favorite until you just said it. Ronela Hajati, Secret. It is amazing. She's definitely going to sing it in English, apparently, if she wins. And I don't think she should. I think this is a song that sounds really exciting in obviously it might sound exciting in English as well, but because it's got an ethnic sound, it's got that duduk in the background, it's got those it also reminds me a lot of Effendi, Cleopatra Matahari, both especially those two songs, they had that sort of weird sort of voice in the background. She's done it as well. Now, I don't know whether that is a little bit copycat, because it is a very similar. I mean, the song is completely different to Cleopatra Madahari, but the style is identical, and also the use of that male voice in the background that comes in every now and then in speaking some strange language. But I just love it. And I just love it when there's ethnic sounds and danciness mixed together. So maybe Ronela will take the crown and do what Effendi couldn't do this year rather.
Thanks, Tristan. I think going back to Ronela's song, there's probably more comparisons with Elvana's Mitiana from 2020, Vic, which was the outstanding favourite to win that year and failed at the last hurdle. And not because the performance wasn't good, it was very, very good. It didn't work with the orchestra. And I sort of see this as being a potential downfall for her here. She sounds great though. Let's have a listen. Sounds really, really good. And that's, you're going to see that in a couple of days' time. Let's go to Amalia. Amalia, are you a fan of Ronela's Secret?
I am, and I think us Norwegians were going to have a lot of fun with this song, because the first thing that came to mind when I saw the song today, and the title was, of course, the title in Norwegian means, how do I say it in English? Secret. I don't even know.
Well, I think the literal translation would be secretion.
Yeah.
Basically, pulling something from one's personal whatsits would be probably the way it's described. But it doesn't quite have the same connotation in Albania as it may do in Scandinavia.
Yeah, like this translates into like different types of body liquid things, which we're going to have a lot of fun with for sure. But that aside, I really like the song. I think it's an exciting song, a little bit unpredictable. It has a lot going on, and she sang it beautifully. She's a really stable, good vocalist. So I definitely think she is a winner contender.
Thank you, Amalia. Any others in that five that take your fancy, you like the sound of, you like the look of?
I don't remember his name, but the second song, it's okay. I have played it. It's one of the songs that I played again several times at home today. I have like three, my top three, just been playing all in all through the day. So yeah, but it's not like I think Secret and Theje is my two big favorites this year.
I think you're referring to Mirud, which is the song that myself and Tristan were referring to, the second one. But I think it's very good. Thank you very much, Amalia. Phil and Michelle, out of these five, are there any contenders for Albania? And beyond that, if Secret was to win, which is likely to be the case, or certainly what the fans would like to be the case, could it be a contender at Eurovision?
I don't know. I didn't really like Secret, to be honest.
It did have a hawk in it, though, to be fair. Are you allowed hawks on the Eurovision stage?
It's sort of, I don't know, it just sounded a bit sort of odd to me, maybe a little Middle Eastern, but then suddenly it went all a bit Russian woman.
Yeah,
as well,
it did, yeah,
you know.
yeah. I think they said, how many weird instruments that nobody knows what they are can we fit into one song? And they went, yeah, just go for it. Yeah, we'll have all of them. How many instruments? All of them. It's nothing special. It's just.
I think the one that stood out for me was Olympia with Duo.
Oh God! I thought if headache was a noise, then this would be it.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It was bloody awful.
No, I quite like that. At least it was a bit different.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Mirud, I didn't like that either. It just didn't seem to go anywhere.
I just thought it was nothing offensive. It's not offensive. It's an all right song, but it just stopped.
Yeah, it did. It
Yeah, they went, should we do an ending? They went, nah, 3 minutes now, and then just stop doing it. But I don't think, if Ronela wins, I don't know. I think it's just going to get judged as one of the weird songs with all stuff in it that you don't really need, including a
Think
whole.
back to Albania last year. I remember having this conversation with the panel when Angela won in Albania, and that song was completely transformed from what we saw in the final to what we saw in Eurovision. I think they could do something quite special with this song. The question is, can she deliver it on stage?
Well, yeah, she can knock it out easy, can't she? But the point is, if you're going to just pick a song and then revamp it until you don't recognise it, you could just pick anyone then. Just pick any song and revamp it and make it into something that's worthy of Eurovision. It doesn't need to be that one. So, why don't they just revamp it and then use it for fic instead of waiting till it's won and then revamping it? It's pointless.
Thank you, Phil and Michelle. Tom, coming to you. Any of these 5, do you think, could win for Albania?
Yeah, really, because Secret is obviously, we've discussed it a lot, but it's a very, very strong contender. It's a very powerful song. I think there's a lot of soul and a lot of heart that goes into it, and I think she's bound to deliver a really good performance off the back of that. I kind of disagree about Mirud being a potential surprise contender for the win. Although, to be fair, when it comes to Albania and their song selections, I'm not normally that great because I found the song was okay. But there were 2 other standouts for me. And the first one was Meteor, which had that kind of, late 90s, early 2000s Westlife vibe. I'm hoping he's going to bring a stool on stage so that at a suitable point, he can just kind of stand up and walk forward. That would be quite cool. And then there's Dua as well, which reminds me of Lena's Satellite from 2011. 2010, sorry. And I think the rhythm of that kind of sparks that memory. And that's quite different because I don't think we actually see enough songs with that kind of rhythm and that kind of bounce as well, which I think will provide us with a nice bit of diversity. Do I think those 2 songs will win? Probably not. Do I think they'll make it to the final? I hope so. It'll make it more interesting if they do.
Thank you, Tom. And then let's round this off. Elina, any favourites in there for you?
For me, it's the names again. Ronela and Alban. Ronela is my second and Alban is my first.
Thank you, Elina. So Alban
And
from
it's
Group
not because
1.
of the pictures.
Yeah, no. Okay. Thank you, Elina. Andy, I'm going to finish these all 20 songs. We're going to come to the panel in a minute, by the way, guys, and ask you who you think is going to win. Any of these 5 do you think could win?
Well, yeah, the one you've just been talking about, the name of which is just completely...
Ronela.
Yeah. It's very contrived, isn't it? It's contrived to do exactly what it's doing. In a way, a bit like some of the Azerbaijani entries of late, and the Samir Marine's entry from last year. And it's just a bit too clever for its own good, if you don't mind me saying so. So, yeah, it could easily win FIC, could easily go to Eurovision. It would get to the final, but I don't think it's quite a good enough example of its type to then go on and do very well in a Eurovision final. I just wanted to say something about orchestra, because you're suggesting that orchestras can ruin songs, FIC.
Not ruin, change. Not ruin,
okay,
just change.
Fine. As you know, I watch San Remo every minute it's on for the whole of the week for the last 15 years. And they don't ruin songs with the orchestra. And if you look at last year's Eurovision winner, it sounded fantastic in San Remo with the orchestra, and it equally sounded fantastic on the Eurovision stage without an orchestra. So it's not the kiss of death to songs if the orchestration is done well. Needn't be, and nor need pulling the orchestra out, because if it really needs an orchestra, you just have that on your backing track. So I think an orchestra is a positive for every song, except possibly in FIC if you have to use an orchestra and you cannot use any backing tracks whatsoever. Then I can agree that some songs will struggle a little bit.
And I think we're going to find out in the next week how that plays out. It's certainly made a difference in the last few years.
We're a little way away from the days when Eurovision could ruin 25 songs by having them played on the orchestra as they did in the 80s.
You made a great point about Cyprus 1991, which was essentially destroyed from the saxophone player who just didn't hit his notes, and that completely killed that song. So you're quite right.
Of course.
Thank you to my panel. That is all 20 songs. I hope you enjoyed that, and you're still awake out there. If you still are, make sure you join us on Thursday for this.
Yep, we've been allowed on screen without adult supervision. I can only apologise in advance.
Get the gin ready.
Get the gin ready.
Because you're going to need it.
You are indeed, yes.
Oh, that's an hairdo.
That is a moustache.
That's an hairdo, that. Oh, God, I love it so much. I love it.
Come and join us on Thursday on our Twitch channel if you want to be hosted by the golden couple.
What's Twitch?
Twitch is a social media channel that we own, and we will love to host you this coming Thursday at 8 p.m. Central European Time. That's FIC 60 done. I want to ask my panel who they think could represent Albania at this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Let's start with Andy. Andy, out of the 20 songs you've heard tonight, who do you think will take gold?
The girl we've just been talking about, the one that was on last. I think she will. The one that I would like to see is Kastro.
Thank you, Andy. Well, you never know. Kastro might do it. It might appeal. Let's go to Elena. Elena, who's going to win?
Wait, I'm ready. The Alban guy.
Alban with Theje. Let's go to Amalia. Who do you think is going to win and represent Albania?
Ooh, Theje.
There you go. So what's that? 2 for Alban? 1 for Ronela. Let's go to Phil and Michelle. Who do you think is going to win?
Well, unfortunately, I think it will be Ronela, but I want it to be Kastro.
And surprisingly, I agree with Michelle. Yeah.
Because you know what's good for you. He knows what's good for him.
But yeah.
You know, we could have a surprise. We could have a surprise. I do
I
like
don't
a
think we
surprise.
will. I don't think we will. I would love there to be a surprise.
Yeah.
But there never is.
No, I think Kastro would probably do better at Eurovision, to be honest.
Yeah. We'd pay 10p for vote for him.
Let's go to Tristan next. Tristan, who do you think will win?
I think Ronela will probably win, but I have a funny feeling that Ester with Hijena, the only thing against her is that she's a complete unknown. I don't know how that's going to affect the voting, but she is also a huge contender, and I think I wouldn't be at all surprised if she wins. Ester Zahiri. just to say something different. But in my heart of hearts, I'm pretty sure Ronela will win.
I think it could be Ronela. And Tom, who are you going to go for?
Yeah, I don't normally like to go with the crowd because I like to kind of go out there. But I'll be honest, it's Secret all the way for me.
The poor Swedish and Norwegian people right now, the visions they must have. I'm going to go for Sajmir Çili. I've got a suspicion Ned Mask might come out of nowhere. You know, he's very popular. Or Kastro. I don't think it'll be either favourite. And I think it's an outside chance. Mirud. I think this could be Mirud's year. I really do. There you go. Now, what's it? Thomas says, I never answered his question. What was Thomas's question?
I did throw it up on the board, but you never paid attention. Hang on 1 second.
What was his question?
There we go.
Any MILFs this year? To be honest, I don't know. Any MILFs? There's MILFs on the panel. How about Michelle? Let's go, Michelle. She's a MILF. Perhaps a GILF. Anyway, there you go.
What is a MILF?
What is a MILF? It's a man I'd like to be friendly with.
A man you'd like to be friendly with?
Yes.
A man?
Are you coming out of the
I'd like to be
closet
friendly
at last?
Pardon?
Are you coming out of the closet at last?
I swear to God, I'm going to lose my shit.
Because the problem is that there's actually no room left. We've got a waiting list, haven't we, Tom?
Yeah.
I don't know why I do this shit.
No, I know. Me neither.
Because you've missed
Thursday looks good, Michelle.
What?
Thursday looks right good. Have you got me as a guest?
Yeah, you're always a guest.
Right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much to everyone in the chat room for chatting away with Tom. And we'll be back on Thursday on Twitch, of course. And that's us then done for 2021. We'll be back on Sunday, the 2nd of January, where we'll be previewing the Spanish Benidorm Fest. That's right. That's right. Spain have chosen a national selection competition.
Still a man.
Is Michelle a man? Priceless.
No! Ready?
I think we better get out of here before it all kicks off in the studio. Big thanks to my wonderful panel who somehow got through tonight. Big thanks to Andy.
Oh, thank you very much. Michelle, were you a man?
Fuck off.
Big thanks to Tom, you're managing these guys next time. Big thanks to Tristan. Really appreciate you joining, Tristan.
Thank you. Really enjoyed it.
Huge thank you to Amalie all the way from Norway.
Thank you. Always nice to be here.
Thank you, Amalia. Thank you to Belgium's favourite. It's Elena.
Thanks for having me. And please, can someone remind me to have alcohol next time? Because I really need some to be with you guys. Oh, God.
I'm not drinking either, Elena. I feel like I might get on the wagon shortly. Huge thanks to Phil and Michelle. She's on mute, but I think probably that was for the better. Tom.
Fabulous, Stacey. I love Thickmas. I wish it could be Thickmas every day.
Yeah, me too. Not. We'll see you on Thursday on Twitch. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.